All right, so let's actually take it to where we are going to end the show with, which is some good old Minnesota Vikings talk, man. So,
Hey,
Ashton, I got a couple of questions for you, but before we
what's
get to
up?
the questions, man, just how was your 2025 Vikings season, man? I know it was a rough one, dog. I know it was a rough
It
one,
was
dog.
a rough one. I so what made it a little bit easier was I expected this, not to this degree, and it doesn't help that damn Sam Donald is the number one seed in the NFC doing the exact same thing. So it's like, and I'm in agreement with what the team did. They said, "Hey, go get your money. We're gonna go to JJ McCarthy. We drafted him number 10. I didn't agree with the draft at number 10, but GM, uh, whatever. Um, we got to see what he is because at the end of the day, we're gonna have to pay him, right?
Well,
Um,
okay. Well, you just answered like five of the questions I was going to ask in one and one sentence. So let me get to the questions. All right, let
right.
me get to the questions. What to make of the 2025 Viking seasons from your perspective and just the totality? Don't get into specifics because we'll get into specifics with the follow up questions.
Okay. It's just to how badly you need a quarterback in this NFL nowadays. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a winning team. Defense can only carry you so long. So overall, if I had to grade it, D plus. If I
Mm.
defense pulled through this year, uh, Macy, Brian Flores get some, but overall D plus. Offensively, we is horrible. It was just, defense is the only reason why I was watching the games just to see how we perform and everything. But offensively, we JJ McCarthy got to get it together.
All right. So aside from JJ McCarthy, because that's one of those questions I'm going to ask too.
Mhm.
What in your mind? What was the biggest regression? What was the biggest cause of the regression?
I think it's only JJ McCarthy.
Aside from JJ McCarthy, obviously, like it's obvious. He's
And
numero uno. He's
So
numero
wait,
uno.
let me ask you, Ashton. I gotta ask, and shout out to Judah, man. Shout out to Judah, man. Appreciate you being on the show. Hey, but Ashton, let me ask you, man. What are your thoughts? Like, how do you feel? I'll put it like this: do you think you'll see improvement from JJ next year?
I believe we were going to see an improvement based off of what I've
Okay.
seen for the past four games. He looked like he got it. He understands it now. And not to throw shade, but you saw what he did against the Cowboys, right? You
Nah,
saw
come
it.
on, man. Come on, man. What are we doing, man? Like, like on our platform. That's what we doing, fam. Like, you could have said that on Facebook, dog. Like, what you doing, man? You could have kept that in Facebook, bro. You brought that to the platform, fam. All right, I,
Shots
I see how we
fired!
do.
Shots
I see,
fired!
I see, I see how we moving, man. I see how we
And
doing, dog.
I just had to, but based off the last four couple games, it looked like he got it. So I'm eager to see how he's going to take that into next year with another year under the belt with just Jefferson. Addison, I got a feeling he gonna move. I don't think we keeping Addison for some reason.
Right.
Um, I, this is his third year. We got to see what he has to offer. We got to see what he has to
Well,
offer.
okay, so it is his third year technically, but it'll be his second year as a starter, right? Like,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
basically we have to just chalk this up to being, which I don't like. I hate that. Like, you've been in a professional setting for a year. I completely hate it in basketball, but football, I will say that you like it's completely different. The speed is too different or whatever. So, and it's only 12 games. So I am cool with saying that this was his rookie season. Um, Speaking of quarterbacks, though, we have to ask the elephant in the room, and you already mentioned his name, but how does it feel watching Sam Darnold on the Seahawks? Like, are you watching as a fan? Are you watching in support? Like, hey, I know what
Hell,
happened, so I'm
hell,
rooting for Sam.
nah. You gotta be at least 3 years into the season to even get that type of insurance from fans. I don't want to see him do bad because just overall what he's been through. But from a
Yeah,
Viking fan, that it just sucks because we had him on the team and he did the exact same thing for
yeah,
us, right? it didn't end well last year, obviously, but it just makes you think like, damn, what would have happened if we would have kept Sam Darnold? Who we could we could have been in the same. We could have been number one right now. Who knows?
I
But
mean, just Justin Jefferson wouldn't have done a whole invisible cloak impression. I'll tell
yeah,
you that.
right, right. The fact that Justin still got 1,000 yards, even though it took him the last game.
Quiet. It was quiet.
Quiet. It was very quiet. I was when he caught. I think it was like a 15 yard. I was like, thank the Lord. Go, just go. It's like your season's done. You got your 1,000 yards. Cool. Um, but seeing Sam Donald, um, it sucks. It just sucks because it's like, damn, he was with us last year, and then we see what they signed him for compared to. Could we have kept him for another year just to see? Yeah, but at the end of the day, we got to see why we drafted this kid at number 10.
Hey, first off, before we go ahead, man, we got the homie Judah. Judah is a Bears fan, and he's on y'all neck, man. He
Dude,
talking cat,
hey, you
he
a
talking
Bears
cash
fan?
shit.
Welcome to the show.
He talking some cash shit, man.
Welcome to
Check
the
this one
show,
out.
man.
What's his alter ego? 9, laughing my ass off. The guy's a joke, man. That's how they talk about your quarterback, Ashton. That's crazy.
Shot
He can
fire.
talk. He can talk. That's fine. The only thing I can say is he showed out that first game of this season. He did do a comeback this same, and he almost beat Chicago again. But Caleb come through. I can't talk. That is what it is.
Yeah, it's not the time. Yeah, you gotta take this one. You gotta take the L. You gotta
At
take the
one
L.
day,
You
I gotta
definitely
take the
gotta take
L.
the L, bro.
I'm gonna take the
You,
L on this one.
you gotta
But
take
we
the
gonna
L,
see Chicago
man.
next year. We gonna see Chicago.
So you have mentioned the last 4 games, and you've mentioned the progress, and you just said it. You said, I think he think I understand it now. So I was gonna ask you the question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So obviously you still have faith in JJ McCarthy. Now, is this I have to have faith in JJ McCarthy, or I legitimately have faith in JJ McCarthy going into next season?
I legitimately,
That's a funny
have,
question, Herbie.
yeah, I legitimately have faith in him. I do have faith in him. I don't think he's going to be a Joe Burrow type of quarterback where he
Right.
can throw 250. I think he's going to be for the most part, game manager, somebody that's not going to lose you the game. Um, and I'm okay with that because
Yeah.
how we feel right now, that's what we need. We need somebody that, and you saw flashes of it with the Detroit game, both of the Detroit games, where clutch moments he came through with throws and he was not rattled. Um, so it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Uh, for perspective, besides the Giants game, he looked good. Um, it- Against Washington, I mean Washington was. Sorry, I'm bringing this up again. Dallas, he looked amazing against Dallas. Now, granted, Dallas doesn't have a solid defense, but just getting into that manner of game time or a game flow and everything, and making the right decisions.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
saw the building blocks. You saw the
yeah,
building
I
blocks.
did see but I didn't see it early in the season. No one saw it, but
Right.
I did see it at the last 4 games, and I'm like, all right, we can build off of this. Who knows what might happen next year? So I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
Rod, let's go ahead and add to the conversation. So let's get an outside person's voice. What do you feel? What is your opinion of JJ McCarthy as of now? Right? Because obviously you didn't watch him every game, but how do you feel about JJ McCarthy as somebody who's not invested in that sense, or the same capacity as an Ashton or other Viking fans?
Well, listen, Herbie, I'm in the business of being fair to people, right? And if I'm going to be fair to JJ McCarthy, number one, he was hurt a lot of the season. So
Right.
he didn't have a full year to play. And if I'm being real, I didn't really watch too much of him, Herbie. So it would be I would be doing injustice if I tell you I think he's going to be terrible or if I think he's going to be good. But from what little I did see from him, Herbie, I don't think it's a bad idea for the Vikings to keep trying. You already invested a high pick in the guy anyway. And, he had an inconsistent first year because he just wasn't on the field. Now he's going to have an entire offseason where you have the Vikings front office can continue to build around him. they have they have an idea now at least because with game film, you know what his strengths are, you know what his weaknesses are. So going into the 2026 season, I think we will definitely get an opportunity to see the best of JJ McCarthy coming this season because they have enough of a sample size, Herbie, to really start constructing the roster to his strengths, right?
Right.
And the Vikings are a franchise that, for the most part, in recent years, when they have a capable quarterback, they can go far because they usually have talent around him, right?
Yeah.
They'll
Yep.
have Kevin O'Connell, who is one of the best quarterback whisperers in the league, and then Brian Flores, if he decides, if he doesn't get snagged up, you have one of the best DCs in the game. So I think the Vikings, they had a bit of a lame duck season. You have the rise of Chicago, the fall of Detroit, and then Green Bay going to be in the mix. But I mean, that division is going to be hellfire for the next few years because you bona fide have two bona fide quarterbacks for sure, in
For
Caleb
sure.
and then Jordan Love. And then with the Lions, even though Goff is so, you have a great coach, you have a great culture, and the Lions can get themselves back in it too. So the Vikings, y'all have a gauntlet ahead of you.
Yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
for
we
sure.
do.
So
We do.
that you brought up a name, and that was actually going to be the last question I was going to ask Ashton. You brought up Brian Flores. So last question before we get up out of here, Ashton, is: do you expect any coaching changes?
I do.
And if you do, it's more than likely going to be Brian Flores. Is Was he so good as a DC that you're like, I don't think we could get somebody as good as him next year again?
Correct. And I said this last time I was on the podcast with, when we talked about Brian Flores. Um, I'm afraid. I think the defensive players they love to play for Brian Flores. Um, we see it. I saw it. I saw it all season. I've seen it for the last couple of games that we had. Andrew Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner turned up. Um, we didn't have the back end, the secondary. Our secondary wasn't that good, but we held our own. I'm afraid that Brian Flores is going to go. If it wasn't for John Harbaugh, I think he would have been the top candidate for a head coaching job. And the only thing I'll say that might keep him here is the issue that he has with the NFL when he was with the Dolphins. And I'm hoping that you know I want him to get to flourish. I'm hoping we just come to him and say, hey, we'll match anything that a head coach and just pay him. But I don't know if that's going to happen because I think ultimately he wants to be a head coach. So
Yeah,
um,
he obviously wants. If I was in his position, these guys are like uber ultra competitive. That's how you get to that point anyway. And
yeah,
two, there's a wrong that he feels that he has to right. And I don't know. I don't mean personality wise, but when it goes up in flames the way it did in Miami, you want to get that one off your jacket, right? Like it's such a failure and it was such a public failure that you want to say, hey, I need to get that one off. Like, I need to prove to people that I am actually a championship level coach. And it was such a disaster in Miami and it was such a clusterfuck and it was such a unorganized mess that I need to make sure that I distance myself from what that is and show that Miami was the problem, not me. Now, Miami fans obviously feel completely different because we have more context and we understand that there was a lot of at play for all sides and all parties involved. But it will be interesting to see. Like, if he gets a head coaching job, that means he is so valued that NFL coaches, NFL owners don't even care that he's suing them right now.
correct. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Well, listen, Herbie. This is what I can say about Brian Flores, and I've had my beefs with him in the past because I used to ride or die with Tua. But this is what I can say. He was right when it came to the quarterback. Right. This is proven to be true. I don't know. They're still Dolphin fans. Surprisingly, I don't even think they're Dolphin fans. I think they're like secretly like Alabama fans or just Tua fans or whatever. There are people who just can't let it go. Like it's okay. We were wrong. It's okay to be wrong. We're human. Okay. We thought we had a quarterback. He physically degraded, mentally degraded. Boom. We are where we are. But when it comes to Brian Flores, Herbie, if there's anything I'm going to say about him, what I would hope, because I have no beef with the guy, he didn't do nothing to me. But
Yeah.
what I would hope is that what he learned from being in Miami is that wherever his next stop is, if he's going to get a head coaching job, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
And,
that
like,
part.
if you're gonna be an asshole with the players, fine, but don't be an asshole with the people you work with. Because it was reported he just didn't get along with people in the building. Him and Greer did not have a good relationship. And Herbie, if the head coach and the GM don't have a good relationship, how the hell is the team gonna flourish? These are
Yeah.
two guys that have to be on the same page. This is why I was so adamant about McDaniel getting fired because I didn't want to bring a GM in to be strapped to him, which I'm glad we made that move. But Brian Flores and his defensive coaching bones are undeniable. It's just his connections to people, his ability to build a staff, his ability for people to want to deal with him. That's what people forget sometimes. Sometimes you can be talented. There are so many people in this world who are talented, who they like there are people who you work with at your job who make your job easier in terms of how the job functions. But boy, you never want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah,
dealing with them makes you want to slam their head against the wall.
yeah.
But they do the job so well. It's like, God damn it, I got to deal with this shit, And that's who Brian Flores is, and he just has to be better about that if he's gonna be the guy to lead the locker room.
Yeah.
Maybe he
So
learned. Maybe he
go ahead, go
learned.
ahead, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead, Ash. Go ahead.
maybe this tenure with the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell really taught him. All right, his do's and do nots going forward.
Because he was
Uh,
coming off of Patriots with Belichick
yeah,
the
yeah,
first time.
right. So maybe it's just learn. Sometimes you gotta step back and learn, observe, and then ascend going forward.
No, for sure, I'm happy that you brought up that point, right? Because all he knew was Bill Belichick, so every one of those dudes came out piping hot, came out as assholes, right? Now you get somebody like Kevin O'Connell or KOC, who's completely different from his approach, and he's more modernized. He's not. You guys got to remember, Bill Belichick is coaching since '73, dog. Like he is old school can get, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Right.
and there's a new way to get through to players, and from all my understanding, the people that he's coaching in Minnesota adore him. So maybe he has changed, or maybe he just speaks the same language as crazy defensive players, right? And and maybe he's just wired to be a defensive coordinator. We'll see. If it flames out again, then he might just be wired to deal with defensive coordinators. He speaks their language, and he might not be able to speak that same language to offensive players the same way he can speak that language to defensive players. But it's neither here nor there. I fully expect him to get a job. It's rumored that Tom Brady wants to bring him to Las Vegas along with Brian Daboll. God, I could imagine them niggas going throwing hands right with each other. Like that'd be weird. Like,
Right, because they were part of that scandal.
yes, that'd be super weird. That'd be weird as hell. Like you want me to work for the guy that Bill Belichick thought he was texting? I don't
Right.
know, fam. I don't know, fam. But with that, man, let's go ahead and get out of here. Ashton, bro, I appreciate the time
Always a
and
pleasure
you
to have
spending
you
time with
on,
us,
homie.
man.
All right,
Thank you so
man.
much for blessing us
Let
with
me add
your.
one more thing.
Go for it, brother. Go for it, dog. The
Judah,
floor is
I'm
yours.
gonna see you next year because he
Oh
talking a
yeah,
lot
Judah was
right now.
talking crazy.
Yeah, all right. But I would say what he said. We need to add a veteran quarterback. Now there is something in the rumor mill out there when reading the Viking tea leaves where we can offer either Lamar or Joe Burrow, and if that's the case, go for it.
Oh,
Why not?
absolutely,
Right,
Yeah,
we
why
absolutely.
can
not?
go for it. Right. So, or we need to add a veteran presence to compete to give him some type of competition. But neither here or there. We'll see next year.
We'll see
Uh,
next year. We'll
yeah, we'll
see.
see next year.
We'll
So,
see. These Bears fans, boy, y'all was quiet for a lot.
yeah,
Like y'all
yeah,
been
for a
Oh,
doing
they
long
it for
time.
alive,
15
Herbie.
years.
They
I'm
alive.
Yeah,
hey, we gotta let them have it, man. We gotta let
yeah,
them have it,
yeah,
man. We
yeah,
gotta
man.
let them
All
have
right.
it, man.